Welcome back, guys, to the Niko and I podcast. We are back here with another athlete. We have an athlete by the name of ALLIE NAPORA. She is a junior soccer player here at the University of Nebraska from Napoleon. So she is a hometown hero per se. So, ALLIE, how you feeling about being on the show tonight?
Feeling great.
You can take the mic, by the way.
I have to take it? Thanks. Feels great to be here. Can't ask for much better than this.
Hey, this is as good as it gets, man. A little interview, late night, after some studying. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, ALLIE, go ahead and tell the people, why did you come to the University of Nebraska to pursue athletics?
I honestly came here to be close to my family. I'm like 45 minutes from them.
Yeah.
So, it's really nice. Like, if you need anything, I just go home and they can come here. So,
Right.
And I love that my grandparents can just come watch me play and, yeah.
Just like high school.
Yeah, exactly. Just like high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, ALLIE, you have a very interesting story for the people here. So, you ended up playing your freshman year all the way through, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, you play your freshman year, and then you dealt with a little bit of a hardship your sophomore year. Can you go ahead and tell the people what happened and how you're currently getting over that hump?
Yeah, so my freshman year, played all out, was great. And then over the summer of my sophomore year, I was having some pain in my leg. And it would just feel like a tight, like tingly pain down my leg.
Right.
And I would go in for treatment, and she's like, oh, yeah, it's this thing. And we get it fixed, and I go out and practice. And then we get to season, and our first two exhibition games is our first one. It hurt so bad, but it started like right under my like hamstring.
Oh,
And I was like, all right, this is a little too much. And then the next game, I played through the whole thing, but I couldn't sprint. Like, I could not move, couldn't do anything. And the next morning, I like couldn't walk. My entire leg from like my hip to my toes were tingly, just on my right side. Yeah, crazy thing. And then we go to a chiropractor. She's like, maybe you need something adjusted. We get there, and he pulls the trainer out in the hallway and says, yeah, no, go get an MRI.
What?
And I was like, are you kidding me right now? I am 19. I was like, ain't no way we're getting an MRI. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just like a muscle imbalance, something stupid. And then we get the MRI back, and it's my back. It's my, C5S1. Something like that. Whatever the lowest one is.
Yeah.
So we did PT for like, this is August, probably the second week of August.
Well, your sophomore year?
Yeah. And I'm at this point like struggling to walk, couldn't go to classes. Go get the MRI. Yeah, it's my back. PT didn't work. Chiropractor didn't work. We went like outside of the university to get like extra help. Didn't work.
Wow.
And we got the surgeon came in and was like, here's your option. Basically was you could deal with it for probably another 9 months, and maybe it could get better, maybe not, but you should just get surgery.
Back surgery?
Yep. So basically they went in and cut off half of my 2 discs. Yeah.
What?
Mhm. So that was a rough time.
And was there something you could have done to have that happen, or did it just?
It's just wear and tear over time, and then
Wow.
not taking care of it when it happened, because we didn't know it was my back. Because like
You thought it was your hip.
this whole time you don't have back pain. Like, I've never had back pain, but I mean, you're squatting 400 or split squatting 300 on your back, so like it makes sense. But yeah.
Dang.
And then had surgery in October, and finally got to play in like April, the end of April. Then I went this whole summer, got COVID, was in the hospital. I was like, what next?
bad, bro.
I literally was like, all right, like, come on now, let's be real. Like, what else can happen? So yeah, I was in the hospital for COVID. Just kind of just had to deal with it. And I'm finally back, but obviously it's been a process getting back. But yep.
Damn.
Yeah, so here we are.
And here we are. So she comes in her freshman year, plays a little bit of pain, comes back her sophomore year, has hip and leg pain. She's getting treated for a hip and leg pain, only to find out she needs back surgery. And she is just now coming back. You said you played in April, correct?
Yeah.
Played in April, And then right now she's still, in the recovery process or in the recovery of coming back. So tell us, how did you make it through all of that hardship? I mean, that is a complete just year bender of just pain, random things just popping up out of nowhere. I mean, that has to take a toll on you mentally. So how did you get past that?
Gosh, honestly, like keeping my faith was really important and just like growing in that aspect of things. And kind of just like having a new perspective on everything. Like,
right.
You take for granted. It's like when you have a cold, you take for granted being able to breathe. Like, I couldn't walk. Like, I couldn't carry anything. Like, I couldn't sit down. I couldn't sleep. And so it's like once you get cleared from, struggling to walk, and like now I'm allowed to walk upstairs, and like you have this just like joy of just being able to walk.
Right.
And I feel like us as athletes, we take that for granted a lot of times, and until you have it taken away, you don't really know.
I know.
But I mean, it's just having my teammates there and like taking on more of a coaching role almost. Right. But I mean, it's tough regardless, no matter what you go through, no matter what injury. But yeah.
Listen, well, congratulations on beating that. I mean, that is one heck of a thing to go from a D1 athlete to barely even be able to walk, barely even being able to carry things, to all the way coming back, and now you're back in action. Now you're just not coming back. So congratulations on that process. Go ahead and tell us, what is it training as a soccer athlete? This is actually my first time ever having a soccer athlete on the show, so congratulations. Tell us, what is the soccer process like for the weight room? So you were mentioning earlier about, squatting 400 or doing deadlifts 300 pounds. So you guys go pretty hard in the weight room. What's the training like for soccer?
Like in practice?
Practice in the weight room, practice on the field, everything.
So the summer is heavy running. Like one of the days was 13 miles.
What?
In a row? We got a morning session, and that's usually like, sometimes it's just sprints, but then sometimes it'll be like long distance, and then that evening we'll scrimmage. So like I remember like looking at my watch, and it's 13.2 miles, and I'm like, that's half marathon. Like I could have just ran a half marathon, but no, we do all the summer stuff. It's intense, and then before, basically it's all summer prep for the actual season, right? But it's like heavy lifting. We're on different programs. Some of it's like building or like power, strength. Like there's all different ones, but like sometimes we'll be split squatting 300, or like right now we're doing a lot of trap bar stuff, trap bar jumps, just like kind of just keeping and maintaining. But then practice, fall camp is hard. Yeah. It's hard. It's a lot of contact, a lot of sliding, right. A lot of just tackling with ball. Yeah. But then you get to season, and it's mostly walkthroughs and an occasional practice here and there. But yeah. So, soccer. This is interesting, or this is actually a messed up fact, but I actually been to my first Nebraska soccer game this past Thursday. I know. It's good for me, but at least I've missed a lot. But listen, one thing the one word I can describe their team as is just straight electric, bro. I mean, I did not think soccer was this aggressive. Yeah. You're talking about all these lifts and all this running, and it sounds crazy, but what you see these girls do on the field, it's twice that, bro. They're tackling people, sliding, people are jumping, people are throwing flags, yelling at each other. I mean, dude, it is intense, and it's awesome too. The energy that the Nebraska soccer team brings. I mean, are you guys currently ranked right now? Or we are not. We were a couple weeks ago.
They were a weeks ago. I'm pretty sure they were anywhere between 20 and 25. You guys were up there, correct?
Yeah, I think we were
22nd-ish.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So listen, the Nebraska soccer team here is no joke, but at the same time too, I do not understand the sport of soccer very well. I'm a track and field athlete, and I try to get to know my sports, but soccer is the one sport that confuses me. So, Allie, go ahead and tell me, what is your biggest strength for whatever position you play? Break down your position. And like, how do you train for it? Is it just like more like what do they call it? Dribbling? Yeah. Is it more running? Is it be more physical? What is it?
So I play on the wing, and I feel like any of the forwards. I feel like speed is the biggest thing. Speed and just like honestly confidence. I feel like It's a very confident position, especially like in the midfield too. But like you have to be able to trust your speed and just run past players. Fitness is a huge thing, like being able to recover on everything. But I mean, I don't know, training-wise, like, you kind of just grow into a position. Like, you'll hear people say, like, you're a true center back. Like, some people are just meant to do certain things, and, like, if you have height as a strong suit, like you're going to go into different positions. For me, I have a lot of speed, and so like I stay on the wings pretty much. But I mean, it really just depends what you're good at, and then just what kind of you build from that.
Right. Are you taking a lot of shots?
We do a lot more crossing. So like we'll beat our center back and then kind of cut in and then kind of clip to the back post or whatever type of cross you want. But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you said your position requires a lot of confidence, a lot of speed, and a lot of fitness. How did you end up getting to the University of Nebraska? So we know you came. It's very convenient. You're, like I said before, hometown hero. What separated you from the other girls in your high school, in your conference, and even the state?
Ooh, I think for me, especially my senior year, was my ability to score. I think my senior year I broke my arm.
What?
I believe it or not, I clean snapped it. Like I don't know, like it was bad.
Like how bad? Like he was hanging almost.
Yeah, you want to see a picture?
We can look after.
Yeah. But it was bad. So I was out for the majority of the season, but I could just score. Like every shot, probably out of 5, like every 3 would go in. Like it was just, that's what, but I was already committed by then. But I think I committed my freshman year or sophomore year, end of my sophomore year, or beginning. Yeah, wow. Beginning of my sophomore year, because it goes so quick for women's sports especially. But I think, my parents put me on a travel team. So I've been traveling since 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of time and dedication and, being able to miss certain things that most kids get to do. Like, the Friday night football games or homecomings, prom. Like, I didn't get to do any of that. I didn't get to go to any of that. And not that I wanted to. Like, I love soccer. Yeah. So I'm, not missing out. But
and one more word, perseverance.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of perseverance.
Yeah, a lot of perseverance, just with all the things that come at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I like how you mentioned before, a lot of different athletes are like, they grow into certain positions. Like you're a wing, and there's a lot of different people. I think you're a true center back. I feel like that's awesome for the sport of soccer because you guys train so non-traditional, I feel like, compared to other sports. Like, this is going to sound funny, but you almost train like football players. Like, I used to be a football player in high school, and you're mentioning these camps, and all these different types of workouts, and it's almost the same, just without the pads and without the tackling, without the use of the hands. So go ahead and describe the dynamic on the soccer team here. I mean, each soccer player, I know you guys are fun, bubbly, electric. Like I said before, the way you guys have your personalities is almost the way that you guys play. So go ahead and tell us what the culture is like here in Nebraska.
For our team? For
your team, yes.
Our team culture is, I'll go back to electric. Like, it is just so positive. Not in a sense that, like, we're never, giving comments or feedback to each other, but it's like, we all just want what's best for each other. And that's something that's changed since I even got here, like my freshman year. Yeah. I think we've done a lot better at that. Everyone's willing to do anything for the player next to you, like on and off the field. And like even players who do start, it's like they're giving feedback and they're receiving feedback. But it's also like outside of soccer, like we all give each other rides. We all hang out, we'll do like therapy nights or like we all hang out, we'll watch movies, like especially when like fall comes around, we'll do like bonfires. It's just like, it's so positive. Like we all just want to win and we all want to be here, and I think that's what separates us from a lot of teams, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I feel like having a team that you can just tell anything to, like you mentioned before, giving rides, having bonfires. I mean, it gets crazy out there in the field. I mean, you sometimes can even lose your mind being a D1 athlete. You have so many responsibilities when it comes to school, personal life, practice, being, in shape. I mean, there's so many factors that go into it. So, having one less stress of not having a toxic team, that is so important. You even mentioned before, too, it wasn't like that when you first got here. My situation was very similar to track and field. It was not like how it is now when I first got here. So it's honestly a blessing to be able to be a part of a team that's just good, a good team dynamic. So another section I would like to go into before, we were talking about, I actually just grabbed her from study hall. She has like all these notes up. She's writing on her iPad. She's locked in with her headphones. She is what I would call an academic weapon. So go ahead, tell us, what is your major and how did you find your love for school?
I am a nutrition, exercise, and health science major. Honestly, I've just always craved academic validation. Like, my older brother is extremely smart, like, doesn't have to try. And so it's like, I have the sports over him, but it's like, I wanted to be that. Like, I wanted to beat him. Like, I'm a very competitive person, so it's like, if he can do it, why can't I?
Exactly.
And that's, like, how I go about all of it is, like, you know, like, if she can study, why can't I? So it's like, you know what I mean? You just do it. Yeah, exactly. And, like, I know comparison is not always the best, but it's like, if I can put, you know, an extra half hour in and maybe I'll get one more concept, like, that's maybe 2 more points on a test that I didn't get before. So just love it.
And what do you want to be with your degree?
I want to be a PA. So it's like 3-ish more years after this, but yeah.
You always want to be a PA or?
No, I actually wanted to go into PT just with, like, all my injuries and just being around sports. But, yeah, I job shadowed, not for me. So job shadowing has actually really helped me. But, yeah, it's not for me. So this is kind of my path so far. Yeah.
I agree. So we covered a lot of different topics in here. We talked about your injury, your hardships, why you're at the University of Nebraska, your come up through, you know, your high school sports, persevering through injuries, everything. What do you like to do in your free time, your personal time? What hobbies are you into outside of the academic weapon and the, you know, all the training and everything? What do you like to do? Who is ALLIE NAPORA?
Who am I? I love to be with my family. I love my dog. I have a dog.
What's his name?
Her name is Bug. She is the sweetest thing ever, but anytime I go home, like, she gets sad when I leave. So it's sometimes it's hard to go home, but
Relationship.
Very, yeah, she's mine. So other than that, I just like being outside. I like to disconnect in my free time. Yeah.
Also,
phone off.
Really?
Yeah, iPad off, computer off, like completely put away.
Really? Off the grid.
Off the grid. That is how I like to live. I'm not gonna lie. But I just like to go with the flow. Like I just want to have fun. Like anything that takes my mind off of being here, and you know it gets hard, like you said, and you know just having anything that almost like is a distraction. But you find like love in certain things. So yeah.
Damn. That's a deep answer. That's a lot of people that I've never actually gotten an answer like that. I've never heard anybody say like the word disconnect to me when I've asked them that question. Like that's very unique. So that's awesome. So I would love to, I mean, you've been killing this podcast so far, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up with one last final question. ALLIE, go ahead. If there's any girl out there or girls who who want to be in your position, let's say they're emailing schools and they're having no luck, or they just want to become a D1 athlete one day, how or what would you tell them if, you know, you had any advice to give to them? What should they be doing for the recruiting process? Should they be going to camps? You know, what's there to do? Because you did say it's a process that happens very early on. So what advice would you have for the people, you know, who are maybe later in the process, like juniors, seniors who are looking to go D1?
Yeah, I say things have changed a little bit with the new recruiting rules. But I think just doing everything right, like email the coaches, like send the email. If they don't respond, okay, like invite them to your games. I think that's huge. Let's see, what else? Just, go to camps, honestly. Like the more the coaches can see you, the better. Video. I know a lot of stuff is filmed now, as it wasn't really much like when I was playing, but I think just keep working and like make sure what you're doing off the field also reflects positively on you, because coaches do look at that. Like they do look at what you're posting, they look at what you're saying and your extracurricular activities. Like they are looking at that, so just do all the right things. Yeah.
Do it right. You heard it firsthand here. So, ALLIE, thank you so much. You've actually killed this podcast. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.